We're back today with more from WOR Tier 5 on Xbox. This is Season 12 and it's Round 3, the Russian Grand Prix at Sochi. It's been my first race on this game, so yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect with this one. This is a track that has grown on me over the years. I think it was first on the calendar in 2014, and obviously the F1 2014 game really wasn't the best, so I think my initial dislike of it really came from that. But sort of over the years, I think especially with the 2017 cars, like that regulation change, that was when I really started to like this track. It started to flow a lot better, I thought, around about then. But yeah, I think just as I say, overall, yeah, it just keeps on growing on me a little bit as I sort of get more used to it, I guess, because I think I tend to do better at the sort of the classic tracks, I guess, and tend to struggle to get up to speed a bit with like the new ones from time to time. But we'll see what we can do then today. I hadn't done a lot of practice for this one, I'll be honest, but like things like tyre wear and stuff usually aren't really an issue here, so I didn't feel like too under-prepared. I think it's more just having like the right setup for the car. That was mainly like the issue for me here. But obviously we want to try and get a good result because the first two races haven't gone as well as I'd have hoped. We are 5th in the standings at this point, which isn't too bad, but it's the result of like two sort of low points finishes and just the fact that we're one of the only consistent people so far. That's put us there. So yeah, I really want to try and get a good result and challenge those higher up if we can. So it's GC then who took pole position for this race, Farfu in second and Artem in third. We were 11th in the end, which is a little bit disappointing. Bortorito is yet another reserve because my actual teammate still hasn't showed up for a race this season. He's in 17th place there. And yeah, as I say, we're 11th then. A little bit disappointing, but we will have freedom of tyre choice then on the grid. And I decided to go with the reverse strategy for once. I tend not to do this because I feel like like an early-ish safety car can really mess this up because it gives those who are on a normal strategy a chance to pit. So I tend not to do this one, but I thought might as well try something different today. My pace wasn't looking that great, so I thought screw it, we may as well give it a go this one time. And yeah, we'll see what we can do then. It does look like those around us who were also outside the top 10 have also gone for the same idea here then. Certainly JJ and ABS Fan. I forgot to check if anyone else did or not, but yeah, certainly those two are then along with us on the same strategy as we line up now then on the grid, and we have the lights coming on now. And we are away here then in Russia. A pretty good start for us then, considering we're on the medium tyres. And well, JJ's had an even better start there then. He's overtaken us here towards the first corner. We move over to the inside line here as Alex there is having some connection issues by looking at things and dropping down the field there. We're on the inside line here heading into turn 2. We get a bit of a tap from behind there, and then there's contact between JJ and Oliveira. Oliveira spins there. We slow down, but his car then ghosted anyway, so sort of did that for nothing a bit there really. But it does look like we may have got through us unscathed then. I wasn't quite sure. Everything's looking alright at the moment then, and yeah, I checked on the radio and everything seemed fine, because we certainly did have a bit of a whack from the back there, and I think I did get sort of sent into one of the cars in front of me, but thankfully though it does seem that we did get away at least without any damage, and we ended up still in 11th place then from all that. So yeah, we're still in the same position then as we're looking at Conrad now then into this tight right hander now, and we're on the left then, and he just about manages to stay ahead for the time being, and yeah, he's going to maintain that 10th place for now. But our pace isn't looking too bad then off the start, as we skip now then on to lap 3, where there's a little bit of a battle starting to maybe form here then with us, Conrad and JJ there. Conrad going a little bit deep there into the corner, and that allows us to get through then up into the points. JJ was off the track as well there, but it looks like he's recovered it. Obviously it looks like JJ is on the same strategy as us then on medium tyres. And we close up to him then. We just weren't quite close enough there. We had DRS, but he didn't there. Now on lap 4 we should have a pretty good chance then with the DRS down the long straight here towards turn 2. We're going to the inside line here then. We're up the inside, and it looks like we may just have this done then. A little bit aggressive, and in fact he is just going to go over the corner then and stay side by side with us. I don't think really what I did was any more aggressive than his move on me back in Spa, to be honest, but we're still side by side. into turn 4, and he is just about going to stay ahead then. So I really clattered the curb there on turn 4 there, and that's going to allow Conrad to have a look at us again there then, and he goes back through then up into 10th. Bit controversial there. I don't know, it seemed like JJ went off the track there to stay ahead when I sort of was there fair enough on the inside line, but well, nonetheless then we're going to have round 2 now then. He does have a penalty already, so I guess you could say that's sort of a fair trade there. But yeah, we're going to have DRS then. He has DRS as well. Well, Conrad there has actually overtaken both of us then on that previous lap, and yeah, it's going to be me and JJ battling once again then towards turn 2. Almost close up to the back of Conrad though, and in fact he is out of shape there then, going out of turn 2, and we should have a good run now then once again around turn 3. We're a little bit further back this time, so I think we're not going to be able to go for the move this time then, and he does indeed maintain the position there then for the time being. But yeah, this battle is just going to go on and on then, as we seem to be pretty evenly matched, and of course DRS is keeping us all bunched together here then. It's JJ now who's going to have a good run on Conrad, and we may well as well here then. It could almost be 3 wide here. We do back out of it at the last minute as Conrad is very late on the brakes there, but I think probably to his detriment there, because yeah, he ends up run out there by JJ, and yeah, drops behind both of us then. And yeah, we're back up into 10th place, and then Conrad just crashed on his own there. I have no idea what happened, but he's out of the race there, and that is going to be a safety car here then. And yeah, again, as I was saying, this just isn't what with this boy. I didn't want to do the reverse strategy really, but yeah, this is exactly why. But I still went and did it. But we are going to move up into lead then, because it was either stay out, go over to hards and be slow for the rest of the race, or go over to soft tyres and, well, not be able to last the rest of the race basically. So yeah, we're going to lead here then for this restart. Now the last time I raced in Russia, we had a safety car restart and I was leading and I spun out straight off the restart, so we'll have to try and not do that this time. And yeah, we're going to have Slapbus behind us, who was on the same strategy as us. All those behind us, though, they've all gone over to fresh mediums, and they'll probably go into the end. So yeah, you could ask yourself why, when I knew this could happen, I went for that strategy still. But I don't know, it seems to be a bit of a theme this season so far that I make bad decisions in terms of strategy. But we are back underway now then, and Slapbus was very close to the back of us there. I didn't quite time it right with the restart. I thought I left enough of a space, but the game was like, no you didn't, and tried to slow me down again. And yeah, Slapbus is looking very close to us now then towards turn 2, but we managed to just about then brake later and maintain a position for the time being. But I don't think it's going to last for too long, because he's looking very quick here, and then obviously we've got a whole train of fresh medium tyre runners then close behind here, all waiting to pounce, as Slapbus then goes through into the lead then in turn 13. And yeah, we'll just have to try and stick with them if we can, and try not to lose too much time here battling all these people behind. I think it should be quite straightforward for a lot of them though, considering they were both quicker than us and they're now on fresh tyres. So yeah, I imagine it won't be too much trouble for a lot of them to get through, but I think for us it's going to be a case of just not losing anything too much in terms of lap time, not getting involved in any incidents here, as Artem goes through and then Wolf goes charging through as well then into turn 2, and they both run off the track there then, and Artem gets a penalty, Wolf gets away with it. But yeah, well, they were both on the track then. I don't know really what you'd make of that really, but they were certainly both ahead of me I think by the time we got to the braking zone, so I guess it was at least a fair enough move on me there. But yeah, I'm not sure how it would work out between those two there. And now we've got TK Dab next up then, who's going to make a move into turn 2 here, as the top 3 all battling then. Slapbus obviously under quite a lot of pressure as well now then, and we were a little bit out of shape coming out of turn 2, and that was quite a straightforward move there as well for GC to go through as well there then. Farfu is going to be next up the road then, the current fastest lap holder, and Deer Hunter is right on the tail of him as well. So yeah, we're going to be down to 8th place then, it's looking like, by the time this next sequence of corners is over then, as we're side by side and yeah, clattering the curb a bit. And now Deer Hunter is going to go through here as well then. So yeah, we really need another safety car right when we're coming in for our next stop basically. I think that's what we've got to hope for, because that's the only thing that's bringing us salvage this race for us now. As yeah, Enrique then next up behind us, and quite aggressive move there, but he's got it done then, and up into 8th for him, and Bybin go straight through as well then whilst we're out of shape. At least we're going to have a bit of a gap now then before we get overtaken again, so hopefully we can just stick with this group now, try and get a little bit of DRS here, and yeah, just try and maintain some good pace. We're going to move up another place though because Wolf is in the pit, so I guess that battle up at the front did result in a bit of contact there then at some point. And we've also got Farfu now who spins off then in turn 2 there, so it's looking like we're going to gain a place here then as we're side by side. Round turn 3, a little bit of contact there, not sure what that was all about, but yeah, he's dropping back now then, and we're up into 8th position in this race. But yeah, we're going to skip a little bit later on the lap now where Alex is putting the pressure on us now then into the final sector now, as we're heading now towards turn 15, and we're a little bit deep on the brakes here. I knew he was somewhere alongside me, so I tried to keep out of the way, and then I clattered the sausage curb there and ended up just blocking him even more. So yeah, it was my bad on that one, and I considered pitting there, but I decided to go another lap. I would have let him through if we hadn't been right by the DRS zone, but I figured may as well just let him have the DRS then, and yeah, just sailed through there then. Slapburst pitted. I really wanted to try and go as long as possible just in case there was a safety car at the perfect time, but I think this lap is going to be when we pit now. I think we're just losing too much time. We're really just tripping over everyone here, as Oliveira is now going to be the next car to go through then and up into 8th place then, demoting us to 9th. And yeah, this is turning into a bit of a miserable race for us here then. We're 9th place, we're a pit stop behind pretty much everyone in this race, and yeah, as I keep on saying, another safety car is really what we need here then if we're going to salvage anything at all. Unless our pace is amazing on the soft tyres here, that is the only other thing that could salvage this race for us. It's worth mentioning that we haven't got any penalties though, so if there is a safety car then we could be potentially in a really good position. So you know, we certainly can't give up yet, and yeah, we just have to see that now then what we can do. Obviously if there are some penalties further down, that could help us even if there isn't a safety car, as long as our pace is still good on the soft tyres here. Slapburst goes through then, Wolf is going to go through as well then, and so is Edited Fawn by the looks of things. And we are going to be down in 15th place, and once again this is becoming a bit of a recurring theme so far this season, where we just find ourselves well out of the points, and yeah, I'm not sure I really like it so far, but hopefully we can somehow recover something here. GC is out of the race then, and that is going to move us up into 14th place for now, as we are slowly catching up to some of those up in front of us here, and we are going to get another place then because JJ is out of the race. But yeah, we're catching up to Fawn here, and I believe we're also catching up to the Puerto Rico as well then, who is in the other Ferrari for this race, and they both have penalties as well, so we're looking like we're in 11th place then, possibly. Well, that's what we're looking at the moment. But now TK Dow is retired then from a points position, and that is also going to bring out a safety car in this race. So with 5 laps to go, we finally have our wishes answered here then, and we're going to have a safety car, and it's likely going to be only 2 laps of racing left. So I was thinking here, don't pit, just see how many places you can gain from people pitting, and you know, you don't have any penalties, so yeah, just see how it goes really, because like my tyres are still pretty new here, and Puerto Rico pitted, so yeah, I definitely wasn't going to follow him in and like queue behind. So yeah, we'll see then where we are, and it looks like it's going to be 8th position here then, with both Bybin and Enrique there with penalties, and penalties as well for JJ and Oliveira there behind us. So we're suddenly looking really good for these final 2 laps here. Obviously everyone around us has fresher tyres, but like we should, it's only going to be 2 laps of racing, and my tyres aren't exactly old. I mean, I've been on them for a few laps, but they should have some performance still left in them here. Alex then went for that same strategy then as staying out, so Slapburst in second, as we're getting ready now then with 2 laps to go to start. We'll do the restart, and Alex then has done exactly what I mentioned doing back in FXR last season, and spinning out from the lead of the restart there. So that is a massive shame for him then, and it would have been very hard for him to hold on to the win, I think, but sadly it looks like he's going to get nothing then from this race, and that moves us up then to 7th place. So it's already starting to go quite well for us here then, as we're on the back of the other McLaren of Enrique at the moment then, heading round turn 3, and we've got a pretty good run here. Obviously he does have penalties, so we don't need to get through, but if we are quicker, then it could be good for us here to try and get ahead of him into turn 4. And he just doesn't give us any space, and we've gone over the curb, spun out, and it feels like Imola all over again, where our race was going terribly. It looked like for a few moments we might salvage a good result, and then it all just comes crashing down once again. And this time I was annoyed, because I know that I was there on his screen. I've seen multiple perspectives, including his, and he should have seen me, and he either did and decided to turn in, or he wasn't paying attention. And yeah, so I was quite annoyed at that one, and sadly we are going to get nothing from this race then, because yeah, it was right after the race safety car restart. At least, you know, back in Imola we were able to still salvage some points, but no, this has happened right at the end, and yeah, there's just nothing we can get from this race now. Then there was another incident between Enrique and Oliveira there, but yeah, they were still too far ahead for it to make any difference. Then we crossed the line. It's going to be 13th then, because JJ is out of the race, and yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just a very disappointing result there. Deer Hunter though took the win, and BRT Wolf was in second place with Artem in third, although I do believe he contested the penalty that he got in that incident that we had with him and Wolf, where they both went over the chicane. So I may update this with if that changes by the time that I put this out. Yeah, so yeah, we were 13th in the end. I did appeal the penalty, but I think the best we can get is 11th place anyway, unless someone up in front gets a bigger penalty and drops behind us. So you never know, but I think the best we're going to get from this is 11th position, which is a massive shame. And yeah, just very disappointed at how that ended in the end. Yeah, but yeah, we'll just have to hope that things can finally look up for us then in the next one. Round 4 of the season brings us to the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring, and we certainly need to try and get a good result here today, because this season certainly has not gone the way that we wanted it to so far. I think this is a good place for us to be coming to though, when we're in sort of like this state where we need to try and get a good result here, because this is a track that I do enjoy. It's one that I've done plenty of laps at so far in this game as well, so I'm sort of coming into it sort of knowing a bit more what to expect compared to some other tracks we've done. Like, I hadn't done any laps at Russia up until literally the day that we had the race, so on this game. So yeah, compare that to this, and yeah, I certainly felt a lot more prepared for this one, so I was hoping that it would translate into a better result. Qualifying wasn't going too great so far. They were only in 16th, and my 2 laps I thought weren't too bad, but we certainly are on an improvement on this final run now, so hopefully we can move up the grid a bit here and see what we can do. We get a nice X out of the final corner there, and to the line, well, we only actually improved to 12th here. Now here's a bit of a turn up then. My teammate is finally here, and he's on pole position for well, what is his debut then? Istvan Tomasi then is our actual teammate, and yet he's taken pole position. Slapbus is second, and Alex is third. As I say, we were only 12th there. That's a little bit disappointing, but I mean, we're not a million miles off, so hopefully we can turn things around. In terms of strategy, we're not doing a reverse strategy. Not after Russia, we're certainly not doing that again. So yeah, we're going for the soft tyres. From what I remember, this worked last season, just doing a normal strategy, and because there was a safety car early on, which is why the reverse strategy didn't work for me in Russia. So yeah, we're going to try and do that. As I say, if there is sort of an early-ish safety car, then that will work a lot better for us than if we're on mediums. And yeah, I think it should be quite comfortable here doing soft to medium. So yeah, we don't have to worry too much here in terms of like tyre wear and stuff. But most people outside the top 10 have gone for medium, so we'll have to try and get a good start, try and clear Harjay there, and try and keep pressure from any of those behind us here. As the lights are coming on now, and we are away then in Austria, and it is a very good start for us then. We're overtaking Harjay and also ABS Fan there, who was on the row in front of us here. Quite late on the brakes here into the first corner, and it looks like we are up into 10th position here, so it's been a good start for us then. As on the run up to turn 2, and there's been a collision there up in front. Artem's gone spinning out. I think it was Wolf and GC there who collided with him, and it's all bunched up a little bit then as we approach turn 3. And yeah, we've sort of stayed on the inside line there, but it all like got bit tight there on the apex, and a few cars managed to go around the outside there, so unfortunately we've lost a few positions then and dropped back down to 11th, but thankfully our car is all still in one piece then, because I think that's sort of like a bit of a three-wide sandwich there between Wolf, Artem and GC, and it was Artem who ended up spinning out into the barriers there, so that was unlucky for him there. But for us, we're still down then in the 11th position on the back of Quabolda then, who was one of those medium tyre runners that I wanted to try and trying to avoid here. We managed to get ahead of Harjay, but Quabolda overtook both of us then, and we're going to go for the move now then on Quabolda into turn 3 on lap 2. We couldn't quite get the move done there then. We were side by side, a little bit of wheel banging, but yeah, couldn't quite get through there. Still got a bit of a run here then towards turn 4, but we're not quite close enough then, and we're just going to have to stay here for the time being, as there is a little bit of an instant behind us there. I think it was Harjay there who spun out. But yeah, it looks like we do have some decent pace here, so I don't want to lose too much time here, hopefully. Battling with, Quabolda there actually makes the move, so he's got some good pace at the moment. But yeah, there's a few cars here that look like we may have a bit of a pace advantage over here. We got a good run here on ABS fan. We get squeezed a little bit though towards turn 4, and now, yeah, we've gone a little bit deep there into the corner, and it's going to cost us a place here, I think. Yep, to Deer Hunter. And 3 goes in. We're back down to where we started then in 12th position with my teammate from last season actually, Levy Martins, who has rejoined as reserve. He's on the back of us now then in the Haas for this race. But yeah, we need to try and get back into it now then and see if we can try and regain those positions. Just from these first few laps, our race pace does seem to be a lot better than our qualifying pace, as we've gained a position there from Pingu spinning out there. So we're back up to 11th place then without having to really do much there then, and we're still very much on the back of this train of cars now then, so hopefully we can get back into it then and try and regain some of these positions. As ABS fan was a little bit wide there, that allowed Deer Hunter through. Hopefully we can make the most of that one as well now then, as we're very close to the back and then heading up towards turn 3. We're going to have DRS towards turn 4 as well, so we've got a good chance here then of making this move stick. I think we do have a good exit and we've got a good run on him then. He goes defensive to the inside this time, so we'll try and go around the outside like we tried to do before, and it looks like this time it's going to be a lot closer. We managed to get our braking right. We're using some overtake now then around turn 5 and into turn 6. It looks like we've got the move done then up the inside. We're up then into the points positions, and yeah, we'll see if now then if we can go after two medium tyre runners then who have got in front of us then, both Deer Hunter and Quabolda now, as they actually collide there up into turn 3. The Haas ran into the back of the Alpine there. We went wide just as a bit of a precaution there because I wasn't quite sure where the Haas was going to go, but I think he may well have damage then as we go around the outside here, and that was quite straightforward, so I think he did have front wing damage there just by how easily we were able to sweep around the outside on that one there. As we skip to lap 8 now then, where Deer Hunter's pretty on a charge now then, and he's overtaken GC, who then loses it out at turn 1 there, and that allows us to get through as well then up into 8th position. So yeah, it's not turned out too badly so far then, as we are still sticking with Deer Hunter then, who is going well on those medium tyres at the moment, but we may well have a good run in this time then, because he won't have DRS and we will. We just weren't quite close enough though, I don't think, that really go for it. We've had to think about it, but couldn't quite get close enough on that occasion to make the move stick, as we've got yellow flags though up in front of us, and unfortunately it's actually because Istvan, my teammate there, has spun from that lead battle and has dropped down to 6th position, so a bit of a shame for him there then, as we are skipping to lap 11 now then, where up in front of us, well, he's on the fight back now, and then there's a little bit of contact to look like there between him and JJ. The Williams goes spin now, and that is another position gain for us, as Deer Hunter continues on his charge then and is up into 5th position now then by the looks of things. And when I saw those qualifying results, I did not expect to be seeing the other Ferrari at any point today, but well, that has certainly happened now then, as we're right on the tail of the sister car now then, as we've got Slapbus and Wolf then both pit on lap 14. I was sort of going to just try and let my teammate have the first pick of when to pit. Yeah, so I was sort of just waiting to see what he did before I really committed to anything here. As we've got Levy now then with a good run us towards turn 3. We go a bit defensive here, and it looks like we've done just about enough here to cover that position. And we've got Harjay then, who has already been lapped here, so his race hasn't gone too well so far. I could see that my teammate wasn't going to pit here, so I decided that this lap would be the one that I came in and tried to get a bit of an undercut on some of these cars, I think, because we've just been in a bit of a train for quite a lot of this race. We've been following other cars, and it'd be good to see what we can do in a bit of clear air here. Alex has pitted there just in front of us on the same strategy there, and we are over to the medium tyres as well now then, for the rest of the race then, hopefully. Well, of course, unless there's a safety car, in which case we may well go for a late change to soft tyres if it benefits us potentially. We rejoin then in 11th position. It looks like GC and Quibalda have maybe got a big undercut on us there then, just from pitting a lot earlier, but we should hopefully have more pace than them, so we'll probably have to overtake them, but I would hope that we have a bit of an advantage there then, as we've already then got a good run here on Quibalda, and it looks like we are going to get this one done then, quite straightforward there in fact, and we're back up then already into the points positions here in 10th position, so that's one move done then straight off the bat. And then at the end of the lap we've got Biden in the pits, and it actually looks like we've got a massive undercut there, so that has worked out very nicely for us, especially if we can use that to get ahead of the likes of Istvan and Deer Hunter as well, who were just in front of us there. And yeah, Istvan's now in then on the end of lap 17, so yeah, only 2 laps after us, and it's just a massive advantage that we've got there. So yeah, we're currently ahead for the time being, but I imagine, judging by his pace, he'll be catching back up to us sooner rather than later. Dynamo down then pits. He was the last of the soft tyre runners, I think, to pit, or maybe he pitted early there from the mediums, but yes, now 2 medium runners then who are at the front, and we are in a net P5 at the moment, so things have certainly sort of started to work out quite nicely for us here then, as Deer Hunter now pits in at the end of lap 21 for the soft tyres, so we'll have to watch out for him coming through then. Levy's still at the front then, but he now pits as well, so yeah, obviously he's going to be someone to watch out for as well then. But it's our teammate Istvan then who we're certainly watching out for at the moment then, because yeah, he's very much on the charge now then, on those medium tyres, and obviously just had a lot more pace in us here. So yeah, I certainly wasn't going to try and fight this one, and yeah, just allowed him to take the inside line there, and we're a little bit slow there on the apex. I think it almost seemed like we were both just worried about tripping each other up there, and ended up slowing each other down a little bit, but nonetheless he's through then, and we're only a couple of seconds now behind GC, so a top 5 finish here is still potentially looking quite good for us. And the good thing for us here as well was that we were using the DRS as well to sort of be dragged along by our teammate a little bit here, so that was working out quite nicely for us, and it really allowed us to catch up to GC even quicker than we already were there, so it's worked out quite nicely for us, as the first of the Ferraris then gets past GC then, and we'll hopefully try and follow him quite quickly here then, because it looks like we've got a lot more pace. We don't need to do it though, because he does have 9 seconds of penalties, so it doesn't matter if we get ahead or not, but it would be good to try and get ahead, especially as we've got potentially Deer Hunter and Levy who are going to come back to us near the end of this race. They aren't catching as quickly as I thought they would though, so I don't know, things were looking pretty good at this stage. I thought I just really didn't want a safety car at this point, as we get ahead of GC now then and up into 5th position. And yeah, as I say, it just looked pretty good at this point, and I wanted it just kind of continue really with no safety cars. And yeah, skipping to that 33, it looks very good for us now then, because yeah, Deer Hunter is catching, but not quickly enough here for it to be a threat to us, as we are up in front of us. In fact, we've got some yellow flags, and Wolf has gone spinning out there, and he and Alex have had a collision by the looks of things. So that has moved us up into 4th position, and as I say, it's a comfortable 4th position then for the time being. So yeah, we've certainly out of nowhere just got a really good result here potentially if we keep it going for these final couple of laps. And would you believe it, Alex has actually spun out there in the final corner with 2 laps to go, and we're on the podium now out of nowhere. Like, it was like a 4-way fight for the lead for a lot of this race, and we've somehow ended up 3rd, having been absolutely no part of it whatsoever. Yeah, so as I say, there was just like a 4-way fight for quite a lot of this race, which I completely missed because I was further down the field. And well, they've all ended up tripping over each other a little bit, made some mistakes, and out of nowhere we've just got 3rd here. I think that pit stop really did make the difference, because it just got us out of a bit of traffic there and allowed us to get some laps in clear air, and that undercut really did help us. Of course, we kept it clean as well, and we've been rewarded then with a 3rd place finish here. A double Ferrari podium, the first time that we have 2 drivers, so yeah, that's worked out quite nicely then. But it's Slapbus then who takes another win then, who's actually crossed the line first in 3 of the races so far, but obviously 2 wins because we had a penalty in one of them. But yeah, Istvan then, a very strong debut from him in 2nd, and for us then, our first podium of the season there in 3rd. Deer Hunter then, he had a very strong drive as well then on that alternate strategy, going from 15th to 4th. And Wolf then was 5th, although I have just seen that he's got a penalty for the incident at the start where he squeezed GC and Artem, and I believe that actually drops him out of the points there, so no points there for one of the main championship protagonists there. Levy then was 6th on his return to the league, Bybin, Pingu, Alex, Dynamo Dan, and I guess it'll be JJ then who takes the final point here today. I'll make sure the correct standings are up on the screen for you now. I can't actually see him at this point because Wolf's penalty hasn't been applied yet, but it's looking very good for Slapbus at the moment then, with 2 wins so far. He leads the way, and it'll be an 11-point lead then that he'll have over Wolf there, who is still in 2nd place despite that penalty. Then it's the other Alpine of Deer Hunter then in 3rd, having a very strong season so far, ahead of ABS Fan. Then Alex then, I'll be in 6th position with 29 points there, and my teammate Istvan then on 18 with Bybin in the middle of us there. So yeah, 2 very strong contenders already emerging then in Slapbus and Wolf, but I think it's too early to rule anyone else out just yet, because we've seen some very strong pace from the likes of Alex, Istvan and Artem, and we've seen Deer Hunter, ABS Fan and a few others be quite consistent so far this season. For us, I would be very surprised because I don't seem to, because I don't think I really have the pace just by look of things, and to be honest, I don't really have the motivation to do like lots of practice. You know, I very much enjoy the actual races, but like in terms of doing actual practice, I don't really feel like that motivated to do it. So yeah, that's why I think that maybe I probably won't be in it at all, but I like to try and finish as high as possible because it does look very competitive. There's a lot of drivers in just in the top 10 that look very strong here, but even further down there's some drivers who I think haven't really maximised their potential so far and could very much still bring themselves into play. So yeah, I think it's still going to be a very exciting season then, still 11 rounds to go, so it's all very much still to play for. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes. So yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully you can't hear Storm, Eunice or Franklin or wherever it is at this point in the background here, because that is making a bit of noise. But yeah, if you enjoy this video, then really appreciate a like on the video. Make sure to check out the first 2 rounds as well if you didn't see those, and also my montage from last season as well. Those all went up quite recently. I'll see you next time then. The next round is at Zandvoort, so we'll have that, possibly Canada as well. And yeah, I'll see you for that then.